Hi, welcome back today for November Plan With Me. If you've been paying attention to my channel the last few weeks, you would have noticed that the last couple of videos I posted were a little bit different than what I've been doing. I love Halloween. I think I mentioned that in a couple of other videos, and I really wanted to do something fun and play around with the holiday a little bit. So, which apparently worked, by the way, because I received way more views on those videos than I ever expected to get. The most that any of my videos had gotten up until this point was like 100 views on one of my Plan With Me's, and it took nearly a month to get up to that view count. The Decorate With Me got over 250 views in the first week and a half. And then I posted the video with my friend of us like touring the historic places and stuff, her doing the medium readings and everything. That one got nearly 250 views in the first 3 days. I'm a little mind blown, really excited that that one specifically ended up getting viewed so many times because I worked really hard on that one. I had been working on it for like a month. I had quite an extensive list of resources and photos and audio clips and video clips that I had to go through for that. It was so far my most complicated video project that I'd worked on. I guess maybe the vlog would have been difficult in that way too, but the vlog is a little bit different because those clips and videos are usually in a specific order and I just have to like clip them together. And in this case, I had to decide the layout that I wanted, clips I wanted where. I had multiple like audio clips. I was a little nervous about having spent so much time on this one video that it just wasn't going to get viewed, especially since it was over an hour long. I was like, there's no way people are going to watch this all the way to the end. I thought it was all interesting, so I didn't want to cut anything specific out. If we do it again, it'll be much shorter because we won't have the interview with her in the beginning. But I mean, it's been very well received, and the ones that have watched it all the way through and have come and talked to me about it afterwards have really enjoyed the whole thing. So I thought it was interesting. Other people thought it was interesting. I just didn't want it to go out and then it be boring or people not like it. And so I tried really hard to make sure that I only kept in the stuff that was important to keep, and then the rest of it got cut out. If you did watch those videos, thank you. I was very excited to see that they were so well received. And if you subscribed based on those two videos, or one of those two videos, have thought you would get enough value out of me to follow me, I hope that you stick around and you like some of the other stuff that I put out. So my Christmas time videos might be a little different from what I'm typically planning on doing often as well. I love Christmas also. I mean, basically October to December is my favorite time of year. Because I love this time of year and these holidays so much, like it's probably going to be like this every year where I'm doing more content that's specifically holiday focused, just because I love it and not necessarily so much like the other content that I plan on doing on a regular basis. I'll probably do some more vlogging. We typically have a lot of activities that we're doing in December, so I kind of wanted to not wait and do a super long vlog and then post it in January after Christmas when like all the magic is gone. So instead I decided I'll do the same similar thing that I did with Halloween, and I'll start the season with a decorating video, and I'm gonna try to have that up like Thanksgiving weekend, because I know a lot of people decorate around that time. So I'm going to be decorating a little bit early. Hopefully have that up Thanksgiving weekend so you can decorate along with me if you want to. Thanksgiving week is also when our town does their big Christmas parade. So that will probably be what's in the first video. And then from there, like I figured maybe weekly or at least 2 to 3 vlogs to cut it up a little bit and to make it feel more like the Christmas spirit all December long. We're not very religious people, but I do enjoy Christmas as a holiday, not necessarily for what it stands for religiously, just like the magic of it, time we spend with our family, the snow, the first snow. I love it. I love it. And our town is like a hallmark during Christmas time when there's just a little bit of snow on the ground and not very many people have gone through downtown and all the lights are lit up. It's so pretty. I love living in our town at Christmas time. So you don't necessarily have to be religious to enjoy Christmas around here. So please stick around and hang out with us for the holiday. I have a lot more Christmas decorations than I do Halloween decorations, and I enjoy decorating for Christmas even more than I do decorating for Halloween. But we don't decorate the outside of our house for Christmas, we only decorate the inside. It is my goal to be on the candlelight walk for Christmas decorations for our town at some point once we've settled into our house a little bit more. So every year that I decorate the house, I'm like working towards my ideal Christmas decoration setup so that when we are asked to be on the candlelight walk at some point, like we've already got a pretty good setup for it. So I take my Christmas decorating very seriously. While we're talking about different kinds of content and the end of the year, I have been thinking a little bit about the things I want to post at the beginning of the year. I don't want to like overwhelm my channel. There are a lot of things that I could be filming at the beginning of the year as far as planning stuff goes. I want to start using the Moxie Life goal planner next year. I had already purchased one last year and didn't end up using it. I've been prepping for that, and I'm thinking that maybe I'll film a video of my initial setup of it and then do monthly or quarterly check-ins with my Plan With Me videos. So the actual setup of the Moxie Life system could be a video, probably will be a video. It's also possible that I could film my HB90 system setup for next quarter, but I can do that any quarter. I could also wait and do that sometime in the summer next year, but I could also set up my 2024 planner. I didn't spend a lot of time doing this last year because I had actually started the year with a different planner system and then scrapped it after I left my job at the library because I didn't need something so in-depth anymore. Also, now that it's possible, we can do internal linking with GoodNotes. The reason that I switched to the P2P hub to begin with was because I wanted the flexibility of a system that was gonna work for me no matter what. She has the different months with all of the different weekly spread options that you can choose from, so you can change it up month to month, depending on how you want to plan that month, so I don't always have to use the time blocking system. Also used hers because with GoodNotes not being able to have internal linking, she had a lot of places in the planner where you could add additional things and easily link to them. Like you can see, she has a system where each month has the monthly spread. You have a monthly dashboard, which has different to-do lists and stuff. 3 monthly calendars. You have 10 different additional places where you can add add-ons. I typically use them for like my HB90 weeks so that I can combine them all together and easily get to them. Now that we can do internal linking, I don't necessarily know that I need all of this. Like, I still want a planner that hyperlinks to the weeks and the days, but I don't know if I need one that has so many different sections that aren't really like necessary for me to have now. So I'm wondering if it might be better for me to just go simpler. It's a little overwhelming to me almost. I don't know. It opens up a whole lot more options now that internal hyperlinking is available in GoodNotes, and it's causing me to overthink about my system for next year. So whatever I choose will probably depend on whether I actually put together a planner setup video for 2024 or not, but more than likely it'll probably end up being like a goal setting video with the Moxie Life planner or something. Maybe I'll do both. I don't know. I don't have a lot of like extra time between December and January for those kinds of videos because I am planning on putting out so many like vlogs for Christmas and everything. And I don't know that the planner setup would even be that interesting, honestly. So I'm not sure if that's even something worth doing. I could also just film a portion of the planner setup and add it into the January plan with me if I wanted to, I guess. I don't know. If you've listened to this entire rambly mess, then leave a comment and let me know whether you'd be interested in any of these things. GoodNotes 6 updates. I talked about it a little bit before when I was talking about my decision for planners. We finally can link things internally. So you can create a text box and you can put whatever you want in the text box, and then when you go to link it, instead of linking to like a website or anything like that, you can now link to a specific page in your planner or in another document in GoodNotes. I've been wanting them to add something like this forever because I want to make my planner as functional for me as possible, and to do that I want to be able to add other things into it other than just the basic planner that I purchased. You have the outline tool, which you can add bookmarks or things to the outline and you can name them, so you could go into the outline and easily click on it, but like I don't want to have to scroll through a list of all the different things I have outlined when I have them set up for every single month, especially in like my budget notebook, because there are specific pages at the beginning of the budget notebook that I use every single month. I want to be able to be on that page and click to get to specific sections of the monthly budget. Right now I just kind of have to like swipe back and forth a bunch of times to get to what I need. Which is annoying. And what's great is they can also be copied and pasted. So I can copy and paste the links over to multiple pages and they'll still be set up correctly. What's kind of cool as an option too is since you can link to other notebooks within GoodNotes, is technically I could also link to my budget in my planner instead of having to like take a screenshot of my budget and put it in my planner. Like, I can put a link on my monthly page and it will take me right to the page that I need in that notebook. I haven't tested the practicality of this yet. GoodNotes has been super glitchy lately. It's taking forever to open. It's not like opening things, like when I go into my files and I want to open something in GoodNotes so I can add it to a notebook or add it to a folder, it's not even letting me do that right now. It's not letting me click on a shortcut to open a specific notebook right now because it's taking so long to open and it's being so glitchy. That's kind of affected things, so I don't know if that would actually work right now. I am hoping that they release an update that fixes it soon, because this has been going on for like a week and it's really annoying. Every single time I close GoodNotes or I lock my screen, it takes like 5 minutes to open it back up again. I could also link to the sticker book that I used for the monthly spread so that all I have to do is click on that instead of trying to find it within my folders. Another new feature is color drop. Also been waiting for this a ridiculously long time, specifically because I like to look for color palettes on Pinterest to decide like what colors I want my pens and highlighters. I've currently been doing the workaround where you open the photo in your photos and then you go to markup and then you go to like color drop there so that you can find out the hex code, and then you have to paste the hex code in the pen tool. So time consuming. Most of the time I don't actually end up doing it with my highlighters because I am so irritated after trying to do it with all the pen colors that I don't want to have to repeat the whole entire process again in the highlighter tool. Even if I end up doing that now, where I set up all the different presets for the pen, I don't even necessarily have to do that for the highlighter anymore because I can just write with the pen wherever I'm working, and then I can color drop the highlighter to whatever's on the page. The other thing is that if I'm inserting anything like a certain kind of sticker, I can just like color drop the stickers now instead of having to rely on whether the creator has put the hex codes in the sticker book. Another note is that iCloud Sync is working for me again, and they just recently added a ruler tool. I don't know is entirely functional for me because I always just hold my line when I'm done with it to make a straight line. It was a little annoying because when I saw they had an update, I was thinking they fixed the issue with the glitch where things are not opening properly, or the glitch that still exists when you try to paste something, it highlights everything instead. Nope, neither of those issues were fixed in the most recent update. They instead just released the ruler tool. The paste issue is fine, whatever, there's a workaround for it. It's not that frustrating to have to deal with it. Taking forever to open and having to go through that process every single time the app is closed or you lock your screen is so frustrating when you use a planner on a regular basis throughout the day. So October was an interesting month for us. We had a lot of things on the calendar. We did a lot of things. We also did not do a lot of things. A lot of our plans changed for the month. It was a really tough month for me. Spent about a week not feeling the greatest. And it wasn't even necessarily that I was sick. I was just so exhausted that I could not get motivated to do anything that week. The next week after that, I was super productive and I did a million things. Got that video finished, but it just sucks sometimes to lose that productive time for an entire week. It puts you so behind. Then you feel like you have to try to get caught up. I don't like feeling behind, and that's been a little frustrating for me. We ended up getting a walking pad. I, for the most part, have been trying to get at least 5,000 steps a day, if not 10,000. I really need to add in the regular activity on a daily basis now that I'm home all the time. I also got like a standing desk to go over the top of it so I can work while I'm walking on the walking pad if I want to. But most of the time I just end up walking in the evenings when we're typically watching TV anyway, and then it's easy for me to like hop in the shower real quick before we go to bed. I'm ready to go for the next day. ADHD hack. Take a shower the night before, because man, it is really hard to get yourself motivated to get in the shower in the morning, I tell you what. We went to the pumpkin patch and we went to brunch for my mom's birthday. I shot a wedding with a friend of mine. I had lunch with a friend at a restaurant in town I'd never been to before and been wanting to try. I had an engagement session. We carved pumpkins. Tony took me to this haunted forest thing that he found online, which was really cool. I'll insert some clips of that because that was really neat, actually. I kind of wish we had taken Aiden with us, but it was a little bit expensive, and originally we were supposed to go on a different night when we weren't going to have him, so didn't want to buy an extra ticket because I didn't know if he'd like it anyway. But if we go again, we will definitely take him with us next time. We didn't end up going to see Rocky Horror, so that's a bucket list item that's going to have to wait another year. We did have 2 costume parties on Saturday, and we had a lot of fun. We dressed up as Austin Powers. We got my son a Dr. Evil costume last minute because he couldn't decide whether he wanted to trick or treat or not. Ultimately, I don't know if he will. If he does, I'll insert some photos. For right now, his mind is still set on that he's not going to trick or treat, so he probably won't dress up with us. But tonight is Halloween. We're having some people over, and if we do end up going out, We are dressing up regardless because I want to try to convince him to wear his, but we're just going to hang out here, pass out some candy. If people decide to go trick-or-treating, we might go walk around town. Marshall's a really good town to trick-or-treat in. There are still a lot of houses, especially on the north side of town, that hand out candy. I'm a little bummed the weather is supposed to be so gross today, especially because right now as I'm looking out the window, it is so sunny outside and it looks beautiful out there, but it's really cold, so... and it's supposed to snow today. November is pretty light for us. We don't have a whole lot going on. Just Thanksgiving for the most part, and the Christmas parade. I'm taking Santa photos for the library that I used to work for. Other than that, we don't have a whole lot going on. We're not going to go to Kentucky. Hopefully we'll go to Kentucky next month. We'll see. We try to go for Christmas. We don't know if we'll be able to this year because of finances. Our house payment just got raised for the second time this year, which was a big bummer. We're a little frustrated that every single time we seem to get ahead, we end up having something else come up. We have lost all of the ahead that we had gotten. Just life as it is for everybody, I guess, but man, is it so discouraging sometimes. I'm excited for having the month of November to recoup and then start the Christmas season. And next month is going to be hectic, so a slow month is fine with me. But yeah, anyway, I have talked a ridiculous amount of time today, and I'm sure this is already pretty long. So now that I'm done filling out my monthly spread, I wanted to talk through some things and give you a walkthrough of what I have set up currently. And unfortunately, I have already talked through this entire thing, but I had an issue with the recording, so here we go again. I'm so bummed that I have to talk through this entire thing again, but maybe it'll be a little more concise than the last time because this has been a hot mess today so far. So I talked a little bit at the beginning of the video about how I wasn't sure what I was going to do for my planner for next year, whether I was going to stick with the P2P planner or whether I was going to switch back to the planner I used before or switch to something else entirely. The P2P planner works for me, but it's a little bit more than I need right now because you have to go in and pay for each month one at a time. I know it's only $5, but I mean it adds up over the course of a year. If I'm buying stickers and stuff like that, that means I'm spending like $10 to $15 every single month if I buy stickers and the planner. I went back to look at the Cyberry planner by K Digital Studio because that's what I was using before. She actually had the launch on Halloween and had a sale running for the first couple of days of the launch. After looking at it again, I realized that it would be enough for me for the next year. I went through and figured out like what each of the pages I was going to need were based on what I needed my planner to do for me for next year. And then I went through and made sure that there was going to be somewhere for me to put those things in this planner. So I was very thorough before making a decision, but also with the sale and everything like that, the planner for the entire year was $23, I think. It's going to save me a significant amount of money to not have to go in and buy the P2P planner every month. The nice thing that Kristen does when she releases her Cyberry planner is she gives you November and December of the previous year for free. I was able to go through, figure out what my entire yearly planner is going to look like for next year, and I get to use it for the next couple of months just to get used to it and make sure that that's how I want it to look for next year and whether that's going to work or whether I need to change some things around, which is good because I already realized I made a mistake at one place and I'm going to need to make sure that I input it correctly into next year so that I don't have to give myself a ton more work to do after the fact. Anyway, we'll go to the home page here. I don't use any of the yearly overviews or quarterly overviews or the login or logout pages. I used to use the yearly overview for school calendar for my son and for our custody plan with my ex. I ended up setting up a Google Calendar for each of those that we share with him. It's just much easier for us to follow that than it is to try to keep track of it because I never reference it in a planner like this anyway. I just don't. So first what I did, and I'll go into this a little bit more in depth when I do my 2024 planner setup video. During the first walkthrough, I was talking about whether I had decided if I was going to do that or not. And then as I was walking through and trying to explain what I did for everything, I was like, oh my gosh, this would just be so much easier for me to talk about in an actual walkthrough versus just like me quickly trying to show you what I have set up here. So it added a lot of extra time in. So I'm not going to do that this time. And I will go ahead and plan on doing a setup video for my 2024 planner when the time comes. The first planner here is my HB90 planner that I have in a notebook. And this is where I realized I went wrong when I was setting this one up because I'm going to have one for each of the quarters. So I'm going to have 4 different notebooks for the HB90 stuff. So I'm going to put the Moxie Life stuff on top. The HB90 is going to go over here and then it's going to run all the way down quarter 1 through 4. So we'll start with my HB90 planner. For this one, This is the main page. I'll talk through these hyperlinks some more in the actual setup video, but it's just for easy navigation in between each of the notebooks, and like especially because the hyperlinks on the side are different whether you're in the notebooks or whether you're in the notes pages. So like here you can see that the hyperlinks are for the actual notebook pages themselves, and then on this page that I copied and pasted and put in here, it's the months of the year. So I wanted to make sure that I was going to easily be able to navigate back and forth between like the main page, so I put this hyperlink up here, and then the other pages that I needed to get to. So the first one is the full quarterly work through for my HB90 planner. Then the second one is the yearly work for Moxie Life. So this is what I'm going to be going through when I do my Moxie Life setup. The second one is the quarterly work for the Moxie Life. And then this one is for my Moxie Life weekly check-ins. Not sure I'll use this very much. I think this is mostly just going to be for me to write in here on the side, like what worked for me and what didn't. This stuff I will probably just put into the monthly review or the monthly goal page so that I can just quickly reference it. All right, so we'll go back to the main page, and then we'll go to November. So then it takes me to my regular planning page for the month. There are 5 different calendars in this planner. I am not using all 5 because I don't want to overwhelm myself. It's going to be hard enough for me to even keep up with the ones that I currently have. But so here's my main planning page. And then number 2 is my projected HB90 time blocks. So this is like the number of time blocks that I'm anticipating I'll be able to complete each day and the time frame that I'm planning on completing them, so I can just easily reference it when I'm putting in my schedule and filling out my weekly tracker. This one I'm going to try to use as a content calendar. While it will be a good resource for me to reference when I'm trying to figure out my plans for each day, the problem is going to be that when things change on this, I have a digital copy of this in TickTick, and so I know like as soon as I need to move things around, I'm going to forget to update it here, so I don't know how valuable this is actually going to be for me. We'll see. I just figured it would be possibly nice to have here to easily reference, or to see like a full month with each of the colors and stuff, because that's hard to do in TickTick. I kind of wanted to see like what I had planned out already based on the colors, like where there were more of one thing over another, or like if there was anything that I needed to make sure to add, whether I was being consistent enough with my posting. So this might just be a reference for me at the beginning of the month when I'm trying to actually plan out the social media for the entire month, for me to see like what I need to add more of, like just the month at a glance. But for the most part, I'm probably going to be doing most of my social media planning in TickTick. So the next monthly page is the notes page, and all of these that are hyperlinked up in the corner up here, they all are monthly pages, but I don't keep any of these the same as they look directly in the planner. Like this page for December looks like this, so I don't keep it like that. I usually will lasso and take a screenshot so the background is white, or I will copy and paste something else over the top of it to cover it up. My finance page, I don't have a big budget breakdown here because I have a whole budget notebook where we do that every single month. This, I just wanted to be able to easily reference what dates things came out, what was due, and how much we were going to pay, so that I could easily just check it off every day to make sure like things are coming out when they're supposed to, versus having to go back in my whole entire budget planner every single day, because I don't typically do that. The next one is my November goals for Moxie Life. This is probably what I'm going to be using versus using the weeklies that are in the notebook. And then next to that, we have the reflections page for the month, and then my monthly review for HB90. And then I don't really have much set up for weeks yet, but I do have this that I set up here for the horizontal weeklies. The nice thing about this planner specifically is that there's a vertical, a horizontal, and a custom weekly spread for every single week. So it gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to planning out each week, because you have other options that you can use, which is nice because that's similar to how P2P's is also, because with hers you can just choose which one you want to use and that's the one you buy and add. But this one, I did really like that it had all 3 for every single week, so that I can just quickly go back and forth between like my actual planning spread and like my HB90 tracker, versus trying to like add an additional page and internally hyperlinking it, which I could. That's what I was doing in the P2P planner, but it's just easier if they're all already in here. Anyway, so this is something new that I'm trying. I follow an ADHD creator, and she's really into this like energy conclusions work. I don't know that I'm going to do this long term. I'm probably not. I will probably do it for a couple of months and then figure out what I need to figure out. And then unless I am having a hard time again with my productivity and my motivation, which I'm struggling with a lot right now, which is why I'm attempting to do this, I will probably just fill this out for a few months, see how everything works out, make a decision based on that, and then not track it anymore. And then I just showed that my custom spread is also my HB90 tracker. So this is where I track like what things I have coming up, what projects I'm currently working on, and how many time blocks I plan to spend on each of those things per week. Anyways, that's just like a quick overview of what my plans are for my planner next year. I'll go more into depth of it when I do the setup video. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a hot mess the second time around. I have been struggling lately. I'm hoping that since this month is supposed to be slower than the last couple of months are, and next month gives me a time to slow down and get caught back up, figure some things out for myself so I don't feel quite so bad about how I've been doing lately. And then that way we'll head into Christmas with a good mindset and into the new year ready to go. I hope you have a great month, a great Thanksgiving holiday, and I will see you guys next month in my December plan with me. Bye!